Welcome to Comtrack. It is spooky September. Look, we know it's still September, but y'all are already celebrating Halloween at this point. So, I'm Tim.
I'm Hannah Sipniewski.
And this is Comtrack, where you'll never have to watch a movie alone again. I am really going crazy with this.
I love it. I'm so excited for Spooktober.
Yes,
it's where I can do my entire home decorating in the center aisle of Kroger. They've got these little ghosts with glasses. They're super cute.
Hell yes.
I bought a mug. I have 17 mugs. I don't need it.
See, yeah, dude, like, I'm sad that I'm, like, super broke at the moment, because I actually went to a Spirit of Halloween with a friend of mine, and I'm just like,
I will buy you body parts.
Well, what I really want is, like, a fog machine. That'd be really cool for my photography, to be honest.
Oh, you know what they've got in... Not this year. Last year, Joann's Fabrics had this doorbell that you rang it, and an eyeball opened and looked around. That was the coolest thing.
Sweet.
It was $50, and I was trying to get my mom to buy it.
Not sweet. Oh shit, we're on the air, aren't we?
Oh, we are on the air. So if you want to skip past us talking about Halloween and the season.
What are you doing here? Go away.
But there's a link in the bottom if you've only got 90 minutes to spare.
Yeah, so just press the button and you can get started with the movie right there.
We have lined up a setup of great Halloween classics.
Just like
most
Halloween.
People go for the slashers, but
yeah, we're going with horror comedy, which is probably like one of the hardest and underrated subgenre of horror, really.
Oh yeah,
because and we're starting out strong with Mel Brooks. Classic.
Yes.
Young Frankenstein. Okay.
Fronkensteen. It's pronounced Fronkensteen.
So this is literally, I mean, like, not even like Halloween stuff or anything. Literally, this is one of my favorite comedies of all time. Like, it's way up there.
Oh yeah.
Because I honestly forget when I was exposed to it. I think it was when my mother had the entire Mel Brooks set lent on loan to her from a friend. Like, it was all 12 of his movies. So, like, Young Frankenstein, Blazing Saddles, Spaceballs, Silent Movie, 12 Chairs, like all the weird ones you've never heard of.
Oh, yeah.
High Anxiety.
All the ones I haven't watched are in there.
Yeah,
so you gotta
dude,
bring that to me.
The Producers, like, and yeah, so I popped in this one because, you know, I watched Frankenstein when I was a kid for Halloween, and yeah, it was fun and whatnot. And this one, like, holy crap, like, I was just howling in laughter.
The performances is, even if you're a kid
Yeah.
and you don't get the jokes, the way the actors say them, like, the lines are still quotable.
Yeah.
I remember being about 7 years old and my mom had to, like, explain why I couldn't sing the Roll in the Hay song. Like, I thought that was so catchy when she does it. Rolling in the hay. I was like, that's my song. That's my jam now. I'm going to go sing that in the grocery store and make people
German
judge
too.
my mother. Oh, yeah.
Like, that's going to be a real thing, dude.
That is not the most embarrassing story about me being German and saying things about movies in supermarkets. The most embarrassing one, I was about 4 years old and I had first watched The Sound of Music.
Oh?
And we actually live in, like, a very kind of, like, Jewish community.
Right.
So I'm behind my mother, and I'm at the checkout line, and she's minding her own business, thinking she's going to have a normal day. And I had just figured out The Sound of Music was based off of a real story. She explained it, so I'm just like, Mommy, can you tell me more about the Nazis? And these two Jewish women behind us were, like, glaring at my German mom. She was like, please excuse her. She's just learned her first history. She's gonna be in this cringy-ass phase for a while.
Oh my god, I'm just picturing how your mom's face turning total tomato face.
Oh, man.
Wow, okay, that's a great story,
Okay.
dude. Holy shit, that's way better than my first exposure to The Sound of Music. Although that might have to be another Comtrack episode down the line, but yeah, dude, like, Young Frankenstein still, like, is gonna be, like, one of my favorites
Oh, yeah.
Even out of all the Mel Brooks movies, have you seen? How many have you seen?
Okay, I have seen Blazing Saddles,
Yes.
Spaceballs,
Yes.
Producers,
Mm-hmm.
this one, and then like bits of History of the World, like just people would send me Hitler on Ice and stuff, like out of context.
You're very attracted to the Nazis, aren't you?
Nazi jokes are funny.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Because I've seen all of History of the World Part 1. It's friggin' amazing. My favorite bit is the Moses bit where he has 15 commandments, drops one, and he just says 10! 10 commandments!
Yes.
Because Mel Brooks is just, I'm just really shocked that he's still around.
Oh yeah,
you know?
and I've also been exposed to the 2 Broadway adaptations.
Yes.
Of Young Frankenstein and of The Producers.
Oh, dude, I still haven't actually sat down and watched The Producers like all the way through.
Really?
I've only seen bits and pieces. I really need to. Like, I'm a little behind on that. I also shockingly didn't watch High Anxiety.
Oh yeah.
I guess it's just because like I was still getting my Hitchcock education.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this was like right before I got into high school.
Okay.
So my my Hitchcock education was still to come. It really didn't reach full flare till college. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I think we should start the movie.
Okay, we should start the movie. I'm excited.
I am, dude. I can't tell you how excited I am about this one. This is one of my all-time favorites. So here we go.
Mystery,
here we go.
Life at last I found thee. The secret of it all.
Wow, those are some.
Did your sound equipment take
not so? That's actually not some bad vocals there. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so. Folks back home, you got your copy of Young Frankenstein. You better pop it in because we are rolling now. And here comes the 20th Century Fox logo in black and white. That's another thing that really just blows me away about this movie.
Is that he did black and white in the 70s.
Yeah, dude.
Not the status quo.
I actually remember, like, he was. They said, look, you can do black and white, but you have to shoot it on a color film stock. And Mel Brooks is like, hell no, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. You're going to be like, oh, we got it. It's technically on a film stock. There's the title. And they're going to, like, screw
last minute, make it color.
So I'm really, really glad that he opted to go full black and white.
Because when you're doing a parody, you also have to play homage to, like, the cinematography.
Yeah, dude. Oh, I love the titles.
Oh, yeah.
The titles, like, these... No one does, like, these old Hollywood titles
Where
anymore.
they're at the beginning of
well, not just that, but, like, they don't have that kind of, playful gothic sense of aesthetic,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Are we just talking about the font?
Oh, yeah, just even the font and the mood and, again, like you said, how they bring it to the forward at the beginning of the movie instead of wait till the end. Yeah. Like, I miss that.
I've been seeing it again in some recent films where they use an opening title sequence to be a sequence in of itself.
Yeah, yeah.
And they, instead of just thinking of it as, oh, we have to sit through this list of names, they think of it as
a way to
be experimental. Like, I think of the last Guardians of the Galaxy movie with, like, they could have never done that scene if there wasn't credits playing.
Yeah, that's true. Like, and hell, even just like you mentioned, like a lot of, not just the Marvel movies, but a lot of mainstream movies in general, like they'll have these after credits like sequences constantly, but they always keep them at the end. Wouldn't it be really great for someone to do exactly the same thing as that, but just put it right at the beginning of the movie instead?
Oh yeah, just like a weird little whatever.
Yeah, I think actually Deadpool did that.
Oh,
Deadpool 2, like they had, where they're just like, did they shoot her? Like she's a main character, but
I like I like that. The credits are kind of dead air.
Yeah.
You get to be experimental.
Yeah. And play with the atmosphere and whatnot.
And I think a lot of big movies are trying to put 1 or 2 scenes where they get to be like filmmakers.
Yeah, yeah.
Just in the ounce of most movies are really, really commercial right now.
Pretty much,
it's really refreshing to see the 1 minute of that movie that isn't.
Oh yeah, dude. Kenneth Strickenfaden.
Oh, they have original props from Frankenstein?
They actually discovered Ken was the original prop maker on the very first Frankenstein movie back in the 30s.
Ooh.
And they found out while making this that he was still alive. And so they contacted him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I've got all the original equipment in storage." And they're like, "Really?" So they actually hauled it in for this movie. The lab equipment that you see in this movie was the original equipment for the original Frankenstein back in 31.
Amazing.
Yeah, dude, I love that.
I like that they gave props to my goth queen too.
Yes.
Mary Shelley.
Yes.
Only invented the best genre ever made. Psych, guys, we're watching another science fiction movie.
It's early science fiction horror.
Oh yeah. Well, science fiction wasn't a genre back then.
Mm-hmm.
She invented it. People give Jules Verne or Isaac Asimov credit for kind of solidifying it, but this was the first sci-fi novel ever made.
Yeah, I kind of see that.
Yeah.
Like it's the first cyborg kind of thing.
Yeah.
That they have, or the
just the philosophy of what is man, what is human. If we're talking about any robot movie,
if someone could make an artificial man, does that make them a man?
Like every android movie ever made is just a Frankenstein adaptation.
Pretty much. I especially loved Ex Machina.
Oh yeah.
That was like the Frankenstein of the search engine era.
Oh yeah.
It was great. So I love the music and the atmosphere in this. Just like, especially the slow crawl to the castle just felt very much of Citizen Kane.
Oh
you
yeah.
know? Like, and moving through the glass, and you see the very creepy castle at night with Baron Frankenstein. Fronkensteen.
Wake
Vicky.
Guillermo.
Ah! God, I love this movie. And then, of course,
I love this gag.
Yes, just like, gotta pull it out. Come on. And this is like right there. It just sets the tone for the entire movie. It's just like,
it goes from like really serious, like the
really...
credits play it straight.
Oh yeah, dude.
And then you've got this moment, and you see the horrifying prop, and then it's just awkward.
Dude, look at those transitions. That's the other
They're
thing.
old school.
Well, yo, dude, that's the one thing that I really love about this movie is the fact that, honestly, if you take away the fact that it's, Gene Wilder, Marty Feldman, and, and Madeline Kahn and all these actors, like, you could swear that this was made in, like, the 30s.
Oh, yeah.
Like, everything from not just the cinematography, but the way it's edited, the special effects that they utilize, like the very, very old, like, composite imageries, the transitions and the music, and even, like, the sound design. Like, the way, I don't know how they're able to really do it. I mean, nowadays there's, Audition and a lot of filters and whatnot, but the way the dialogue it hits the ear, feels so of that era, and I really can't think of another way to replicate it. I really wish I could. I know it's...
Oh, yeah. And none of it feels... Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. None of it
feels artificial either. Like when you put the black and white filter and it's got all the speckles on it, and you're like, you just did that in post in 2 seconds.
Exactly. It's not.
It feels like they got a film or something.
It honestly, because it, like, again, it kind of reminds me of David Lynch's The Elephant Man.
Oh yeah.
Where if it weren't for the widescreen presentation and the fact that Anthony Hopkins is running around in the movie, you would swear that movie was made in like the 1930s.
Yeah.
So
they've
now...
got an Asian extra though, so can't be the 30s.
Oh God, that's so bad.
And if it was 2019, that would be Scarlett Johansson. So. I'm gonna keep making those jokes.
Yeah, oh yes. Okay, so here comes the wonderful grand experiment about the human brain and the nervous system.
Oh, I love it. This is the most bullshit, like...
pseudoscience.
Well, if I were Mr. Hilltop, that would be the most bullshit thing to bring me in. Well, just come in for 5 minutes. He called a son of a bitch and then just wheeled out.
And in a nightgown, nonetheless.
Most college students will do this for $6.
Well, yeah, it's very true.
I was in a study in college. I sat in a room for 5 hours, and they fed me spicy tomato soup some days and non-spicy tomato soup other days, and had me record how hungry I was.
Wait, you were actually a human guinea pig?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I haven't heard about that.
Yeah, I made $60. That's all I did was sit in a room for 5 hours and monitor my hunger based off of how much spice I was given.
Oh, interesting.
I was bored enough that I binge-watched the entirety of The Big Bang Theory, which I regret.
Yeah, and that's where you're just like, can we watch It's Always Sunny now?
Oh, no, that was back in the day when I had to pre-download stuff before I went out.
Yeah, see now I'm a little jealous because like I didn't do anything cool like that in college. I should have volunteered.
I'll bring you tomato soup and varying amounts of cayenne pepper and measure your hunger responses. It was not that interesting.
Honestly, I probably wouldn't be very good because for some reason my stomach doesn't handle spices, and tomato soup is just so boring I can't stand it. Like I need something else other than the broth. So you know what? I'm probably just go in the opposite direction and just like volunteer to be a nude study in like an art.
Oh yeah. You make $9 an hour for that.
Sweet. Oh,
that is not.
You're
bad.
Kidding, dude. What the hell?
And men are always in short supply.
Oh,
it's
dude.
always women.
Oh well, dude. Sign me up. I'm in.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
You think you might have a preference, but if you're an artist,
no.
It's like I need to learn how to draw. Like, what do men torsos do?
Dead is dead.
Give an extra $1. This is the most college student shit.
Well, I mean,
we tricked you. It's an episode of Community.
And you're just like, no. But man, dude, like if that's what they're paying, like shit, it makes me kind of want to go back to BG.
Oh yeah.
Fronkensteen. You gotta get it right.
This kid is such a little shit.
Oh, he is. He's literally like all those guys on the internet that just go, actually.
And every male who sits in the front seat of a class is
this kid. He is in the front, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
So, it makes sense, but just like you can see him, he like if he was around nowadays, he would be the one guy on YouTube just going, actually. And then of course, like he's gonna bring up his grandfather's work.
Oh my gosh!
And he's just that's the thing that I love about this movie because okay, so Mel Brooks actually wanted nothing to do with the Frankenstein movie or spin-off or anything because we've had the ghost of Frankenstein, the bride of Frankenstein,
yeah.
the cousin, the brother-in-law. We don't need another one. And he said, no, it's actually going to be about his grandson who has nothing to do with those wackos. And Mel Brooks looked at him and he goes, that's really funny. So,
just everybody bringing him up and he's like, God damn it!
And I just love how crazy Gene Wilder goes with
so
this.
triggered and I love it.
And this is probably my favorite line.
My grandfather's work was
doo-doo! And then of course this great
the
moment.
Preservation of life.
And stab!
Right into such an ironic statement. Fucking end up.
I just love his performance. He's just like
he awkwardly tries to hide it. It's amazing.
It's dismissed. It looks like he's holding back tears. Although to be fair, like Gene Wilder was having a really hard time shooting this movie.
Oh, I've watched the bloopers and he laughs like every 5 seconds.
Literally, like they had to get like 15 takes per scene because he was just cracking up through the entire thing. I love it when he pulls it out. But yeah, dude, like he just would not stop laughing.
Oh, man.
And it took forever to get the right
like
take.
Every time Igor said his line.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gene Wilder would just die.
Marty Feldman was born to play Igor. Like that was heaven itself
just
willed
look
it.
To the left and it's fucking funny.
Yes, it is, man. And apparently, like Gene Wilder says, like out of all the movies he's done or written or whatever, like this is his favorite.
Oh yeah,
like hands down. And Mel Brooks said, like, yeah, Blazing Saddles might be my funniest movie, but this is my best, which is awesome. And I totally agree because out of all the ones that I've seen, oh my God, look at Madeline Kahn. She is, She is glowing. That's the other thing that I really love that this movie captures. Like, you know those old golden age Hollywood movies?
Oh, yeah. Then there's a scene later on where he and Inga are just, like, looking up to the right for no reason, except for to look old Hollywood.
Because, well, I mean, old Hollywood, they have the hair. But, they have this weird ability to make those film stars just glow. Like, really sell the beauty and whatnot, especially in close up.
I love when he gets
her hair in his mouth. Like, that's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, like that shot where the close up where it was, where that just felt so perfect, because Madeline Kahn is just a gorgeous woman, but oh my god, she's super freaking funny, man.
Oh my god.
Like, holy hell. I mean, it's really rare that a woman like that, you know,
that pretty is that funny.
Yeah, like
yeah.
Because, like, holy hell. That's one of my favorites.
There's a whole musical number in the Broadway version of this.
Oh, really?
There's a love song called Please, Please Don't Touch Me. As they sing their big love song. I've heard the choreography is really funny, too, because they just don't touch. Yeah.
I love the cough. Like, she's the coughing.
Just gets this.
Oh, and then this was the part that really blew me away. The back projection of the old Hollywood stuff. It looks old Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
That's the coolest part. I love this. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, you know, we get these stupid-ass jokes throughout, just like where they're going. And, you know, naturally, the conductor has an accent.
Oh, yeah.
And New York! And now they're in German.
It's the exact same line, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the exact same shit. Only, you know, they're talking about Transylvania. We are almost to Transylvania. Transylvania next. And then, of course, this joke.
Oh, this is a joke that only you would get. You're the only person who's still alive that gets this joke.
Transylvania Station. Yeah, track 29. Boy, you can give me a shine.
Chattanooga Choo Choo.
Yeah, Chattanooga Choo Choo by Glenn. It's because I grew up on Glenn Miller that I knew that joke. My mother had a vintage Glenn Miller memorial album that was made right after he died and disappeared during the war. And I've since inherited it. But yeah, dude, I grew up on Glenn Miller. So when I heard that, I'm like, wow, did he just reference? Oh my God, that's hilarious. And no one, I've shown this to several other of my friends, but they've never once gotten this joke. And I feel so, Marty. I love the freeze frame. But yeah, no, I'm the only one who's gotten that, so I feel kind of special about that.
Oh, yeah.
Fronkensteen. Dude, like, the fact that, you know, Marty has this crazed eyes and his weird appearance and whatnot.
Those are his actual eyes.
They are. Because I believe he had a weird form of thyroid. He had a thyroid condition that bulged his eyes out, and one of them was moved off to the side. He had a couple of childhood injuries, which required some surgery to his face and whatnot. But despite that, apparently, he was very attractive by all his female cohorts throughout his life.
Oh, well, if you smile a lot, if you're funny.
He's really funny. Oh, this great line. Love that. Apparently he actually forgot his line and just went with it. What hump? Cause
just stare at him for 3 seconds before he says it.
Yeah, seriously, because apparently, like, the prosthetic hump that he was wearing, he kept shifting it around, so the continuity never matched.
Walk this way, too.
Yes. This way.
That was improvised.
He's kidding.
Walk this way.
Yeah, dude, that was That was
based off this scene.
Yeah, dude, Aerosmith saw that and was like, "Oh shit, that's really funny.
We're gonna write a whole song.
We're gonna write, yeah, to this one stupid ass joke." And apparently, even Mel Brooks is like, "Dude, this is too corny. We gotta cut this out." And then he saw the test footage, and saw the audience just die from laughter, and they're like, all right, we're keeping it. Oh, dude, Terry Garr.
Ah!
What do you say to a woman like that?
Rolly, rolly, roll in the hay. Also a whole song in the Broadway.
Sweet. Okay, seriously.
Oh, man.
All right, real moment though.
Real moment about Terry. Terry Garr.
When you see a woman in a haystack like that, looks you straight in the eye and goes with that cute German accent, "Would you like a roll in the hay?" What do you do?
Sure.
Because I'm kind of in the same boat with Gene Wilder there. I just kind of look at her, mouth agape, like my mind just goes completely
Look,
blank.
What you need to say is sure. Either she wants you, or there's a translation issue, but she doesn't pick up that you don't pick up that it's a translation. You just whatever's coming next is coming next, and you just say yes to it.
Oh, God,
either you get a woman like that,
Uh-huh.
or you roll around in a carriage for a bit. That's fun too.
Yeah, sure,
That's fun.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Even though there's apparently wolves around.
Oh my God.
There, wolf. That's such a dumb joke, but I love it.
All of these jokes are really corny.
Yeah.
But they deliver it with this, like,
Uh,
just humor and deadpanness, and their performances sell jokes that would be really cheesy.
It's
if
the charm of it, I think.
Yeah.
Like, and apparently there's like there were twice as many jokes. Like, I think the original runtime for this was like twice as long as it actually was.
I love the giant knockers.
The giant knockers.
Doesn't he say something about big knockers?
Yeah, wait.
Yes! Yes! Thank you, Doctor!
Oh, man, you even do the cute accent very well.
Oh, yeah.
Well, apparently, like, Madeline Kahn was supposed to be up for the assistant, but she was like, "No, I want to do the fiance." So he's like, he looked at Terry Garr. He's like, "Could you do a German accent?" So she just whipped out the accent.
With the horses.
Yes.
And the horses.
She just whipped out the accent, and she's like, and he kind of blushed, and he's like, "Oh, well, you're hired." I love that gag. And I also love the giant mole in her corner of her mouth. It just, it's so funny, man. Oh, and of course, what was it? Oh, and then of course, there's probably one of my favorite lines coming up.
Oh gosh.
Oh wait, we gotta have one more. Just one more, because we're dumb and self-indulgent. That smile, dude.
It's the exact mood like when somebody tells you to stop doing something and you're like, okay, I'll stop, and then you just do it one more time.
Just come on, like,
because it's more fun when it's not okay.
This is one of my favorite lines. Wait, just stay close to the candles. Oh, it must be like, that's right. She does this weird interjection later on, just to make things slightly more scary and unsettling. Dude, look at this set here. That honestly feels like it's some leftovers from like an Errol Flynn movie.
Staircase can be treacherous.
Oh, if it's Hogwarts, I believe it. But yeah, dude, like the set feels like leftovers from like an Errol Flynn movie, you know? Like
Errol Flynn?
Errol Flynn, the Robin Hood from the 1930s.
Oh!
Yeah. The great sword master.
Yes.
But now looking at that portrait of Victor von Frankenstein.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of want that in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
just
dude.
An ominous portrait.
Yes, that'd be really awesome. And of course, the bookcases, which of course is going to play a major role later on.
Put the candle back.
Oh, and of course there's this bit. Would the doctor care for a brandy? Actually, I would.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't mind. Thank you. I'm good. Or how about some warm milk? I love the slowness of it.
Like, just saying mundane things really ominous.
Ovaltine. God damn it. Oh, man, I forget. Was this before or after A Christmas Story? I think this was...
This is 74.
Yes. I believe...
I don't know when Christmas Story
I believe
is.
A Christmas Story was 76. I'm going to look this up just because I'm really interested.
I would love some Ovaltine with my tasty wheat.
Oh my god, the
I
tasty wheat.
love the mirror.
Yes, yes. And when she has the good night, sweet prince.
Dun dun dun.
Oh,
he was her boyfriend.
Good night, Herr Doctor. Frau Blucher.
Oh yeah, Christmas Story's 83.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So, okay, like they jumped on the Ovaltine before Christmas Story
Oh,
did.
Man. Does Ovaltine even exist anymore?
I think so. Maybe.
I haven't had it since I was a little kid.
I've never had it, so
Oh man.
yeah. Then
I had it once at my grandma's, and then everywhere else it's just Swissness.
no,
I've never seen it anywhere else.
no. See, I drank, like 2% milk when I was a kid, and then high school happened, and I'm like, no,
Wait,
not anymore.
No, I'm talking about is Ovaltine's hot chocolate.
Oh, it's a hot chocolate.
It's hot
kind?
chocolate, yeah.
Well,
It's like one of those powders that you put in.
any kind of like chocolate or like dairy drink that I had, and like it just kind of fell off the map like by the time I hit high school. So
Oh, yeah.
never had Ovaltine ever.
Oh man.
I mean,
No hot chocolate?
well, I've had hot chocolate, just not that
Boy.
brand. Not Ovaltine brand.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. And of course, I love this.
Destiny. No escaping that from me. Destiny.
Wait, was that a song number?
I don't know.
That feels like it should be a song number for the Young Frankenstein.
No, there is a scene that is this though, where
Okay.
he has a nightmare that all of the Frankenstein lineage comes in, and they go,
Nice.
join the family business, join the family trade, and make the town afraid, or something like that.
Cool.
Yeah, it's very spooky Mormon Hell Dream is the vibe I got from it.
Behind
The
the book,
bookcase.
he has to adopt the accent.
Oh yeah.
So you've been around the world, and I gotta ask, do you actually pick up on the local accents after a while?
Yeah, you naturally, even if you're like in America and you're talking with somebody who's British or Australian, you naturally kind of mimic the accents around you.
Huh.
And I had like a friend in camp who was Australian, and I'd have to like slap myself and be like, no, am I mocking them? Am I being offensive? You naturally will pick up on the accent of people around you.
Fascinating. So that's not just a joke; it's actually a human thing.
It's the thing, is if you put yourself in Transylvania and talk to a bunch of people in German or Romanian, you'd get like a German-Romanian accent.
Put the
The
candle back! And I love how they very noticeably speed up the film just to move it faster.
Oh yeah, just to make it more Scooby-Doo.
And well, I know it's probably also because like a practical thing where like we have the bookcase and it does spin, but it's just not nearly as fast enough as we want. So
Or
we're
it's
just
not safe to make it super fast.
Yeah, because obviously shit like this.
Yeah.
And I love the voice. Listen carefully. With all your might.
He had to do this take a million times too, trapped between the bookcases until he could fucking say his line.
Well, I'm pretty sure,
with
like-
a straight face.
I'm pretty sure it was just Mel Brooks was just like pushing at him, like, you get that, you get it right
You
this
get
take.
the tape,
So, get the
or
take
we'll
right.
really smash you. And then
Just put the
The
candle back. You would think that joke would get old after like 5 minutes.
it's never old.
No.
Because they play it differently each time. Like I said, it's like the performance is 90% of the humor here.
Yeah, and all of them are just phenomenal. Like,
And so
it's
if you
really-
if you got a lot of today's comics out there and they either played it straight or they played it over the top, like it just wouldn't be as funny.
no, you
Like-
really need to get like someone with just charisma playing giving the right amount of ham. You
Yeah.
know? Like that's the only because oh
You've
god.
got to embrace him.
Yeah.
I watched this on YouTube. There was a lot in the comment section about like why we don't make films this funny anymore. And a lot of it is okay. A lot of people said people would get offended, which I was like,
really?
First of all, this is the least offensive Mel Brooks movie.
Right?
Second of all, if you're pretending that people weren't clutching their pearls shook to the core after the producers, you're wrong. People were so offended.
Yeah.
But I think it's just, we've got this cringe culture. Yeah. We're afraid to be cheesy.
Yeah.
And cheesy's fucking funny.
Yeah, it's really, especially, well, I think that's why nowadays people are so obsessed with, you know, So Bad It's Good movies, because they have that cheese. And it's just unintentional.
And also, this is what I think about So Bad It's Good movies. You can pretend you don't like it. Yeah. It takes bravery to say, I think this is great. Yeah. When there's 1,000 critics saying 500 things wrong with your favorite movie in under 15 hours.
I'm sorry, I hate CinemaSins so much. I hate CinemaSins
so much.
So much.
Get in a drama war with us, CinemaSins. We'll get viewers.
2 years dead.
Oh, I love this. Marty.
6 months dead.
Marty.
And then, like, the suspense is just so good, and then... I got nobody.
I bet they told him to surprise it, but I bet the song was improvised.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. And also, I just love the still deadpan face that he gives right until they.
So funny. And he's just ahead with his outfit in the black and white. I was gonna say, what's So Bad It's Good movies is you can. When you say, watch this film, it's really good. Yeah. You're opening yourself up to critique, but there's a safety in saying, watch this film, it really sucks. Where you can pretend to be ironic and you can pretend that, like, I don't really like this. I've got taste. I'm cynical, and it's...
Look, you can love bad movies, and you can hate, you know, like, movies that a lot of people really, like, revere and whatnot. Oh, like, I know there's a lot of people that just can't stand Apocalypse Now or things like that.
Oh, yeah. So, whether it's the pacing or whether they don't relate to it.
Oh, wait. In this movie, he's kind of like, oh, God, what was his name? John Belushi in Animal House. Like, I remember watching Animal House for the first time, and any scene... Any individual shot that John Belushi is in always has a really good laugh in it. Oh, Marty Feldman's kind of the same way in here, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, like anytime, like even if he's in the background, there's still eventually like where he'll come to the foreground and just get a huge laugh. But yeah, and of course, right here, this is all the original lab equipment.
From the original Frankenstein movie, you were saying.
Yeah. This is
not
all
replica, not just made by the same prop master, but...
Which is why this movie feels so authentic, because it's not just using, you know, the same aesthetics, but it's actually borrowing a lot of the original elements of the originals to give it the authenticity. Because that's a lot of parody movies tend to get wrong, is that they can poke fun at the tropes and the character types and, you know, the story beats and whatnot and all that stuff. But if you don't really respect the original at all, like if you're not willing to evoke the feeling of it and then turn it on its head, you're doing it wrong. Yeah. You know?
Plus, taking it seriously or honorably for a second lends to that surprise when you lampoon it later.
Yes, exactly. And
to respect it for a second and then throw a fart at it.
Yeah.
Is so much funnier than just a bunch of farts about it.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot of parody movies. A lot of them really good too, like, you know, Walk Hard, you know, of course, you know, the masters like Spaceballs and you know, Naked Gun and all that sort of thing. Airplane, like, they're all fantastic, but I think this one is probably the best spoof movie ever made because of the respect that it has to the original.
Yeah,
you know?
It uses its cinematography, it uses its kind of prop and set design.
And atmosphere and even the sound and the effects and everything are
And you can
perfect.
Use the tension of horror to create a perfect breeding ground for jokes to slap you upside the head.
Exactly. Well, I mean, Igor just previously was a great moment. Like,
I bet people jumped at that. Like, nobody was really scared by it, but
it was like a scare.
I love this.
How I did it. I feel like the Simpsons stole that gag for their vampire segment in one of their Treehouse of Horror segments, and it's like I think it's like, you know, they're in Mr. Burns' secret vampire lair, and they find the book that says "Yes, I am a vampire" with a foreword by Steve Irwin.
I also love. You were talking about brilliant classics that people don't respect, and they don't need to, because some things don't relate to people.
Yeah.
And some things are just paced wrong.
Yeah.
Him just reading from the book.
Yeah.
The original story, and everyone just being asleep.
Well, that's the really funny part, is they're reading the original story, and they're just bored by it, which makes it even funnier. And then, of course, this great line where he looks right in the camera and just like,
"It
could work!"
And the changed portrait.
I love it, dude. I love it. It's great. Oh, so good, man. Oh, so. But we also got to talk a little bit about Gene Wilder.
Oh my god,
dude! Like, when he passed, like, I remember, you know, a lot of people were like, "Oh, he's just the guy from the meme, the Willy Wonka meme."
Wait, they didn't even say he was Willy Wonka. They said Willy Wonka meme.
Yeah, people got to be a little bit that low. Like, I know
Gen Z. I know you're saving the climate, but I want to punch you right now.
But yeah, dude, because like I mean, a lot of people are like, "Oh, Willy Wonka's dead." I'm like, yeah, he was Willy Wonka, but dude, Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein.
Like,
he's also in the original producers,
yes,
right?
the original producers, Blazing Saddles, and I believe.
What are some non-Mel Brooks materials he was in?
Oh God.
Because I mean, I know him as Willy Wonka. We'll be fair.
Let's see. Excuse me. I know he was. Oh fuck! There was another movie that I forget. I know there's like a ton of other movies that I am forgetting, but yeah, mostly the ones that I remember were his collaborations for Mel Brooks, because like Willy Wonka was out. Love that. I know Willy Wonka was like the main big one of his, like, outside of Mel Brooks.
Oh yeah.
Although I do really love this transition right here where the swinging,
where it swings.
Yeah, where he just he's about to let go. I promise you.
But we were.
Yeah, here, where
we're just talking about like back what I said with the Cornetto trilogy.
Yeah.
Every movie in that is good. Comedy needs good filmmaking. If you can't utilize all the visuals to set the scene, set tension, to know how to
and how to edit your movie, and
how to incorporate your comedy and your plot together.
Yes.
Even some of the best modern comedies fail to do that.
Yeah, like
Bridesmaid is really funny. But I almost felt like it was separated into the scenes that were funny and the scenes that moved the plot along.
Yeah, it's like
you'd have people pooping in a dress, and then you'd have an emotional scene between the two friends after it, and it's like, couldn't they have maybe the emotional confessing while they were having diarrhea? Yeah. That would have been fucking hilarious.
Now that would have made it even funnier.
Trying to explain, oh, I'm so sorry, I just...
See, that would have been even funnier.
Oh my god.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, so, yeah, when you mix things together, your emotions become complicated, and when you play with your emotions like that, that's where great things happen.
Oh yeah, when you care about the characters, and when you don't feel like you're sacrificing one thing for another.
Yeah.
It goes... Could be worse. Oh no. This is so fucking corny. I'm groaning right now, but I love it.
Yeah, I don't care. Like, well, again, it's his performance. Look at Marty Feldman and just the way he's...
little shit-eating grin. He's having the time of his life.
They all are.
Did you watch the blooper reel for this?
Once a long time ago.
About 40% of that blooper reel is when he does the, oh, Igor, get the bags, and he goes, oh, you take the wand, I'll take the one in the turban.
Yeah.
The different ways that he harasses Madeline Kahn. And Gene Wilder cracking up at him. I don't think it made it into the final movie, but in several of those scenes, he's just straight up bites the leg off of her fur fox and just goes like my dog. Like,
if I remember correctly, like it took them a while to get that scene right because of the fur. He was constantly getting it in his mouth, and that just made the takes run even longer because in between he's like doing and there's Gene Wilder just cracking up. Oh, I love this. The hand.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you think this scene would have been more or less funny if they got the cop we see later on with the fake hand, them just both like
that actually might have been funnier. I don't know, because the fact is, like, it's already stupid.
It's already so funny. Would that have been overcomplicated? But I can't not think of it.
Oh, you're right, because even then it's like, well, his hand is that the police officer is fake. So he wouldn't feel how cold.
So he wouldn't get that.
Yeah.
Oh, you need a hot fire joke.
Yeah. So I think it's just fine like this.
It's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah. Because and I also love how he has to.
What have been.
He has to stamp his feet.
To tell Igor, is that
yes,
what?
Yes. That was freaking
That is
great.
the same energy as Whose Line Is It Anyway? When like Ryan and Colin like put their hands in each other and put their hands in each other. That sounds true. Ryan and Colin would appreciate that joke.
Yeah, dude, totally. But yeah, apparently, like, it's not just like us or them that's having a really, because apparently these guys were having so much fun filming. They were actually kind of pissed off when Principal Photography wrapped that Mel Brooks literally just wrote a whole bunch of additional scenes just to keep the production going longer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
And if it worked, they'd throw it in, or...
Yep, if it worked, they'd throw it in. If not, they'd throw it out. Because like I said before, like, the first cut of the movie was, like, almost 3 hours. So they just started, cutting every joke that they thought didn't work and whatnot. But although now that I think about it...
Like brains.
I love that gag. But now that I think about it, like, for all the jokes that they thought wouldn't work but wound up being immediate classics now, I kind of want to see their extended cut that they never released,
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure 20th Century Fox has
Just a deleted scenes that's longer than the movie.
Yeah,
That's why I bought DVDs back in the early 2000s.
Oh, you kidding me?
I was like, I am here.
Yes.
Fuck the directors. I am here for the deleted scenes. I will kill a man for deleted scenes.
I love this. The winks to the camera. Like, I think only Ryan Reynolds can really rival Mel Brooks.
In terms of this generation, Ryan Reynolds
he's the only really mad genius of breaking the fourth wall. You know? Like, Mel Brooks was the all-time great for breaking the fourth wall back in the day in his movies. And actually, that's the whole reason why he's not in this movie. Mel Brooks he said he was going to be in the movie and whatnot, but Gene Wilder said, no, I don't want you in this movie because you have this dirty habit of winking at the camera, and I know sometimes you don't mean to.
I didn't know who Mel Brooks was as a child, but as soon as he walked on stage, and my parents said Mel Brooks cameos in this movie.
Yeah.
I knew who his cameo was in Spaceball. Like, immediately. I just knew it was Mel Brooks. Like, I felt like only the writer could throw shitty jokes like this.
And just wink to the camera as shit-tastically as he does.
As yogurt. I was like, fuck.
It was also that deep Jewish accent.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he always played his characters. I don't think I've heard a lot of interviews with him. But almost that very over-the-top Broadway Jewish.
He actually has, that's, like, he exaggerates a little bit, but that's ultimately his, like, voice and accent.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he plays it up a little bit when he's doing his roles, but otherwise, that's totally him.
Oh, yeah. I feel like he throws in a few extra, like, Yiddish words for comedy's sake, but that's who he is, right?
Of course. It's Jewish. It's funny because you don't understand the words.
Lock Bagel.
Oh my god, I love him. Like Igor in the raincoat, the rain hat.
Like, I'm just myself laughing if I don't take a break right now. So please share some fun facts while I'm gone.
Like, I'm trying to think of one of the other really great things that, because as you can see, like, this is all the original equipment. They fired it up too, man. Like, they got all the electric stuff going. I'm trying to think what was the another thing. Oh shit, I'm blanking. But oh yeah, Peter Boyle. Peter Boyle's in this. For most of you remember, oh god, what was Peter Boyle's like famous sitcom role? Oh, he was the dad in one of. God, what was it? What
Are
was
we
it?
talking about
Peter Boyle? Peter Boyle was
Al Bundy, was he?
Oh, yeah, that's it. Everyone loves Raymond. Everyone loves Raymond. That was like his big sitcom role that I was thinking of.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. I actually remember him most as his cameo role from Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver, which is one of my favorites. But yeah, here he plays the monster.
Is that why they do that bit at the end where he's in the bed with the newspaper and it's like, oh, my wife's so crazy. See, that shit's funny even if you don't know the reference.
Yeah, dude. Although this was actually, oh, what was it? No, this was the same year as Taxi Driver, 1974. Yeah.
Hey.
But what was it? What was I going to say? Oh yeah. They also. Actually, they did put him in like real makeup. Like they put him in, a bluish green kind of makeup, so it highlights better in black and white.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. No, I love this.
I didn't think of them doing this. I was telling you about the Broadway musical. This is the best song in it. It's the only song they take seriously.
Oh, really?
It's life, life, give my creature life.
Sweet.
Life, life.
Oh, dude.
It's really good.
Does he ascend into the heavens?
Yes, that's actually the big draw. It's like the one thing they spent all their prop money on is getting the thing to raise up as he sings the one song they take seriously.
Nice.
Yeah. Because they have other songs such as Roll in the Hay and He Was My Boyfriend and just Putting on the Ritz, because if you took that out, that would be illegal.
That would be... To not have Putting on the Ritz is just like... evil. What are you even doing?
Oh, yeah.
But oh yeah, dude. Like, I love the glasses, the over the top goggles that they have.
Oh my gosh.
Like, everything is just so crazy.
You buy that from Capples under the steampunk section, Gene. Not the third switch.
Not the throw it, I say. Give my creation life.
Through the storm and strife.
Oh man, dude, I
fate, give my creature life.
Dude, and I love the superimposition that they do with that. Like, just to really rein in the madness.
Oh, just the electricity.
Yes.
And they fuzzed up his hair for that.
Yes, dude.
They teased it so it looked like he'd be...
Oh, look at the lighting, dude.
How do they do that? Is that projection or...
Yeah, I believe they actually took a mold of Peter Boyle with, like, the elongated skull and everything. They made a maquette of that.
What? It's inside?
No. No, it's like a maquette that they positioned over him, and they just made it transparent and shined a light through it. So it shined directly onto the contours, highlighting these, like, weird, exaggerated skeletons.
Okay, so Peter Boyle was there.
Yeah.
With a thing on his face. That was transparent.
No.
And light shining down at it?
No. Like, he was wearing the makeup, just, like, lying there. But they had, like, a separate, transparent sculpt of it with a light bulb behind it, and they shined it onto his face.
Okay, so they had a mold of his face on the light.
Yeah. It was
weird.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, they really got creative with their special effects like that. And it's ridiculously simple. I mean, it's stuff that you...
Well, you've got to keep it simple and practical if you're imitating...
That classic 1930s look.
Now I'm mad we're not watching Shadow of a Vampire this month. Because I feel like you'd have so much filmography things to yell at that movie.
Probably.
Yeah.
But what I really love is just... how batshit crazy Gene Hackman plays with this.
This is character development. Is you just watch him go from, like, repressed to insane to, I think, acceptance at the end.
Yeah, dude. Like, that's the other thing that I love about this movie is that despite it being like a full-on parody and like they do the "It's Alive" thing, like they do all that and whatnot, but they also have really interesting characters that they've made. Like Igor, Fronkensteen, even the monster is hilarious.
Oh yeah.
So like that's another thing.
Fronkensteen and the monster have great character development. Igor just plays with your expectations, and Marty Feldman's really funny.
Yes.
And the kind of women who would just kind of be lilting props.
You son of a bitch!
Grace and dignity. And then Marty like look at the camera and like explain the joke to you, but I'm not even mad because it's Marty Feldman. Whatever.
And I really love the fact that they keep them with long takes and whatnot, because that allows the actors to just go crazy, quiet and dignity indeed. But they just let
Gene Wilder be like, just go psycho.
Just go, dude. Like that's what I really love about the long take kind of, just wide shots of these things. They'll just like, put all three of the actors in the frame, and then they'll just let them perform. Like it's not one of those, where it's overcutty, overproduced, and everyone gets a close up and cut back and forth and blah 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 blah. Just put the camera there. Let the actors go.
Oh, yeah.
That's all you need to do.
If it sucks, you take another take. Like,
Exactly.
That's how it works.
Exactly. And plus, it's much more fun to see them all in one frame, because that just shows how close the characters can be.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you separate them and, put them one close-up at a time, it gets stale, it gets boring to look at, and literally it flattens the characters.
Oh, yeah.
So when you allow people to, actually act all together in one long take, it subconsciously says, oh, these people are working together.
Yeah, they're not just there to deliver a joke. They are funny people.
Yes.
Like I was going to say, like even the female characters whose roles are very much love interests, it's not a very complicated role.
Yes.
They let them perform, and they're funny. Even if they're just being sexual. Like, it's funny as fuck.
Yes, it is.
Oh my god.
Puts it out with the beer stein.
It's just overcomplicated.
Fucking Kenneth Mars is the inspector.
Oh.
You can't say inspector. You have to go Inspector Compa.
Richard footsteps.
His father's footsteps. His father's footsteps.
His footsteps.
And I also love his deliberate punctuation of the word und.
Und.
Und. It's very, very punctual.
Very silly in German.
Yes, very, very silly. I miss these like way crazy, silly performances.
Oh yeah.
Like I can you really think of like a recent comedy, not Edgar Wright, that has done just like a batshit crazy weird role?
Not in film. In sketch comedy, I can name dozens. I think of Whitest Kids You Know and their versions of like, oh god, I'm General Lee or whatever it was.
Lee.
No, it was Grant who was drunk all the time.
Yes, it was Grant who was super drunk.
But they have characters like that.
Oh, I love this. A nice quiet chat. But it's
not in a mainstream Hollywood movie.
Everyone was thinking shit.
Shit.
A nice quiet shit. That's the other, because that's another reason why I'm like, oh man, I really wish we didn't have to constantly watch these with the closed captions.
With the subtitles.
Because like, it's super funny to hear the performance.
Did you know that they recently, some English researchers looked at the linguistics of England during the 1500s and found out that people pronounced words a lot differently, which meant that we were missing a lot of jokes in Shakespeare.
Yeah,
apparently.
That makes a lot of sense.
So, I think there was a line in Macbeth that the porter says, is spending your night for hours and hours, hours and whores were pronounced the same way back in the day. So there's this implication that there's all these, like, prostitutes around. There's good wordplay too. Lines and loins were originally pronounced the same word.
Oh boy.
So the intro to Romeo and Juliet, you can
I
argue
see
what
where that's
rule
going.
is supposed to be there as fatal loins unfold or whatever.
Oh, this is one of my favorite.
But there's also a lot of dick jokes. So.
Yes, that's what Shakespeare is.
Oh my god! If you think Shakespeare's high literature, you can fuck off. It's the only thing that's pre-1900 that I read.
I love that. Oh, you like it?
You made a yummy sound. It's so cute.
You made a yummy sound. That's one of my. Who uses the word yummy anymore? I wish people would bring that back.
It's such a serious context.
It is. It's
any context for you. If you're talking about food and saying that was really yummy.
Yeah.
If you're flirting, you look yummy. It's just that's adorable.
I can't do that anymore because they did that in I believe it was Catwoman.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What, the Halle Berry one?
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah.
That's why I don't watch shit like that.
See, that's a bad movie. Like, I will gladly make fun of if I've had the correct amount of booze, but otherwise, yeah, I'm staying far away from that one.
No, you want bad Batman remakes? Just stick to
Oh,
Joel
God.
Schumacher. At least you'll have a good time.
Oh God, he's gonna say the thing. Hello. I also love Peter Boyle's expression.
Looks at him.
Just like, what the fuck? Seriously, I think that's like
actually my reaction if I woke up and I just existed. I'd be like, okay.
what the fuck is going on?
I guess this is my life.
Sit up. And I also love how they gave him very, very clearly these gigantic go-go boots.
Oh my god, with the nails on the bottom. And you see them later as
with the
they're
lifts.
heavy, like elevator boots.
Yes. And I forget how tall Peter Boyle was. Because I know he must have been like 6'1" or 6 something.
Mm-hmm.
But those things made him like almost, 6'8", 6'9".
Oh yeah.
Because it's crazy how his face even fleshes out the padded body that they gave him.
Oh yeah, but by just doing that prosthetic on the forehead.
Yeah, because
works.
It's weird
because he's not that big.
No,
like he's tall, but he's a lot skinnier than you'd think from this movie.
And the other thing is like even his hands seem obnoxiously huge, which I know those are his real hands.
Yeah.
So like kudos to them for doing
Yeah.
it. I love it. Whoa! The fire!
He lights a cigarette.
It's like, dude, really? Oh, and then of course, this is.
Oh my god, the charades!
This is such a stupid joke. Stupid joke, but I love it. Playing charades while Peter Boyle just strangles him. And it takes so long. It's actually one of those jokes that the longer it goes, the funnier it is.
Oh, man.
Said a dirty word. He said a dirty word. No.
Sedative.
Sedative. Sedative. The sedative. Give him the sedative. And just points to his nose.
Oh, my God.
And he is down for the count. Oh, dude, chair, table. And then after all
there's
that,
like a sketch comedy bit or something, but they all lace together well.
sedative.
Okay.
Oh shit. Man.
You can tell that Igor would not care if anybody lived or died.
No.
He is just there for fun.
he
gives no shits. He is living his best life.
He is there to simply observe and to watch and be entertained by the show. And he's also there he's literally there with the audience. Just put his arm around you.
This is me.
Oh yeah.
Where he just sits
on the floor.
I've done that before on like break if there's no chairs. I'm like, I'm not standing.
And then he's like awkwardly sits back up on here just so he's not at cross level.
Just sits right down on the floor.
But
I've done that. And it hurts.
Well, it should. mean, it's concrete for you.
Oh no, it just the shame hurts.
Oh, I see. The
The shame.
shame. The shame.
Oh no.
And of course, there's this wonderful
Oh my
little
God.
bit with the. It was Abby something.
Abby someone.
Abby no. Oh, okay.
Does that mean that's Frankenstein's monsters canon name in the Young Frankenstein universe? That in Mary Shelley's novel, Adam is the first creature, but the second creature that Gene Wilder's Young Frankenstein makes is named Abby Normal. That's canonically his name.
I guess
and
so.
we should not refer to him as the monster because he's
As
good inside.
Abby. As Abby.
His name is Abby.
I actually got to tell you just a quick story.
Okay.
Because Abby Normal is kind of a big in-joke at my house. When my mother was working her way through college...
His fucking face, I'm sorry.
When my mom...
He looks like the little... You saw Spirited Away.
Yes.
The little green heads that roll.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Dude. He does. Wow. Like, actually, you know what, dude? With that costume, he could be a no-face.
So he's no-face with the green heads.
Oh my god. But anyway, okay. So real quick story about this. My mom was working at a McDonald's to get herself through college and whatnot. And because, her crew was really tight and whatnot, they all had like little name tags back in the day. So they decided to get mock names. And hers was Abby Normal.
Oh, that's great.
So I actually remember one of our professors got thrown off. And she actually, answered the drive-through to one of her professors, not knowing who it was. Called him up, and she's like, "This is Abby Normal. Can I take your order?" So he had a bit of a laugh, and then he was delightfully surprised, like, "Oh, Carm, hi!" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, this is just a bit." Awkwardly gives food and throws away. So, yeah, that's like a big thing with my mom is Abby Normal.
That reminds me of my stupid Spanish class name.
Oh, I love this. Just this the way he cheats. Just...
Oh, I know. And he just spit.
Nice grouping.
They made us choose like Spanish names in Spanish class.
Yes.
And mine was Anita Margarita.
God damn it! I wish I was that clever. Because I think I was Felipe.
Felipe.
Yeah. Because apparently, and my mom was pissed because no, Timoteo.
Oh,
what the heck? And they're like, I'm like, yeah, ma.
You can choose whatever name you want.
No, it was no. They gave us a list of choice names, and that was so it wasn't on the list, and that's why both of us were kind of pissed off. So and that's why I never fully learned Spanish because my Spanish teachers sucked.
Oh man.
So what were we talking about? I forgot.
Abby Normal.
Abby Normal.
And then
yes.
we started talking about fake names.
Oh, I love the every time he misses the just like the glass shatters.
Oh, and you see shit.
Just
you see where all of his arrows go when he drives away.
That's right.
And like all of the wheels and like the doorman's got one in his head. I love it.
Oh, and I will take that as a yes. God, this guy's great. Wait, oh, and I love the fact that he has a monocle over his eye patch.
That's so stupid.
It's stupid, and I love it. Oh, and then there's this great moment where his mechanical arm just gets stuck. Like, God damn it! And then, of course, we're like, even through the long walk back to the castle, like, the arm just slows.
I love him. All the tires are flat.
That's so funny. Oh man, this is. I forgot just how much fun this movie really was.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's been a while since I've watched this actually.
Oh yeah.
Like I forget, when was the last time you watched this?
It was in high school. I remember it was like an theater after party.
Oh,
thing.
right on.
We drove up to somebody's house out in Kentucky, real big property, but this was on the TV and we slept over.
Nice.
So probably when I was about 16, 17 was the last time I saw this.
It's been a while for you.
Oh yeah, it's been a bit.
Because I think the last time I watched this, it was about 5 or somewhere between like 5 or 7 years.
Oh yeah.
No, actually, I remember it was about 6 years ago. Some friends of mine in college hadn't seen it. Again, with that goddamn Winnie. Every time, it always makes me laugh. But I heard a couple friends hadn't seen it. And I'm like, oh, what? And I just like grabbed them by the ear and just sat their ass down and like, watch this. This is amazing. This is one of the greatest comedies ever made.
Well, you didn't see Holy Grail until college.
Well, no, I had seen Holy Grail. It's just that I'd seen a really shitty VHS recording of it, and it was very young, so I didn't get the jokes, even if I could hear or see them.
Oh yeah.
So, but that's gonna have to be another episode, dude, because that's another great comedy, and apparently Abby is quite a big fan of violin.
He's trying to catch air butterflies.
Yeah, dude, like that's the other thing
so cute.
Well, I mean, I love that he brings the childlike sort of innocence to his performance, similar to how Boris Karloff did back in the day. So that's always really nice. But I do love the fact that he's just like, gleefully catching the invisible butterflies. That's a nice little touch. And of course,
I love it.
Yes. Yes.
Violin.
Yes! This is getting crazier and crazier. Yes! Yes! Say it! He was my boyfriend! He doesn't even... I love the fact that she doesn't use the word lover. Just
like lover, a paramour, anything elevated. Just
anything, just...
boyfriend, like she's 14.
Yeah, exactly. Very colloquial. And actually, that's what makes it even funny. Well, it's what makes it even funnier, because she's been very, very proper, very stiff, very educated and fancy, and then she just throws you off with that stupid word,
boyfriend.
Yes, exactly. It just
that line is also an entire song. Yeah, by the way.
Sweet. I need to see this, because I'm such a huge fan of this movie. I should see the Broadway version. Like, I don't know if it's ever going to be is it playing again, or is there like a DVD release of it?
I don't think so on either. I know the producer's Broadway version just got made into the new producer's movie. Yeah. It was not originally a musical.
Yeah, that I remember.
I'd recommend watching both.
Yes. So I'll see if there's like a a film copy of it somewhere. I've
never seen it. I actually just got the soundtrack from the library and listened to it a couple times.
Nice. I should at least get that.
Oh yeah, because I knew what the plot was, so I was like, I'm just gonna listen to the songs and enjoy myself.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now this is...
When monster is loose, boards must be tight.
This is obviously like, the straight up parody of the scene from the original where, the monster is loose. Hide your children, board up your windows, lock your doors. The monster is about. Woo!
And there is actually a good deal of tension in this scene.
It is like
if you don't know exactly how it's gonna end up.
Yeah, because
watching them interact is kind of
because if you've seen the original, like the little girl accidentally gets drowned by the monster.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I remember watching that. I actually remember watching the original because I think that was when I was in like 8th grade during class or something.
What shall we throw in now? Eye contact.
Like the bum eyes.
Oh no.
Because I actually remember watching the original, and like when the kid dies, I'm like, oh Jesus,
oh man,
shit got real. And then of course, this is so fucking great. This is such a. And then wait. It's something about their sides, just like.
It closes the scene all nice.
But yeah, dude. So when that scene, when you see that coming, when you see the little girl and the monster together, you're like, oh shit, not again. I
didn't even see the original Frankenstein, but just seeing somebody so fragile next to the monster, it builds tension.
It does, but it builds it even more when you've seen the original, because then they completely just throw it literally right out the window. Or in the window in this case. And then, of course, yes,
I love him.
Gene Hackman as the blind man. This is just... this is probably one of the great comic cameos. Like, there's a lot of really funny celebrity cameos, but a lot of them are usually on the nose or whatnot. But no, this is actually just Gene Hackman playing a character and not being, like, haha, I'm Gene Hackman, celebrity, here to entertain.
That's what a cameo should be. It's like give this performer center stage for a little bit.
Yeah.
But not as a pop culture reference.
Yeah.
Let them actually do their job.
Mm-hmm. And it was actually really unusual for Gene Hackman to be in a comedy, because he's known for his dramatic performances and whatnot. But I think it was because him and Terry Garr were working with Francis Ford Coppola on The Conversation.
Oh.
Yeah, which is a great film, by the way. Terry Garr was on set about, oh yeah, I'm doing this Frankenstein movie with Mel Brooks. And Gene Hackman's like, well, could you get like a little bit role for me? Because I would love to just try comedy, just like it's a little bit. So they gave him this role, and it's fucking hysterical.
He's having the time of his life, too, because he never gets to do comedy.
Exactly. So he's an actor performing a little bit out of his element and having fun with it. And I also really love how, playing the blind man, you just don't have any eye contact. You can just look around and feel very warm and that sort of thing. And, of course, now this is just...
Oh, my God.
This is a classic bit. And of course, the way that he moves around. And apparently that's actually hot soup.
Oh no!
So, well, they had like some padding underneath them so Peter Boyle wouldn't actually get burned, but just to get the steam right, they actually poured real hot soup, which is just super fucking funny,
and
man.
And he's trying so hard to not... to be polite, to not scream and all.
I am such a... And that's the other thing. You really feel for this guy. Just like, oh, I wish someone, a weary traveler to entertain, to break the monotony.
You love them both.
And then he just bursts in. And of course, yes, a toast. And of course... nothing goes right. Oh, yes, of course. Now we've had food and drink, and we have one final little surprise.
I love this.
Cigars!
Yeah.
And of course, you already know, especially the way he takes it with his thumb, you know where he's going.
I thought he was going to eat it.
Oh, really? You did?
But then as soon as he held it out.
As soon as the way he gripped it with his thumb sticking out, I'm like, oh, I know where this is going, and I love it.
Oh, God.
You know where it's going like a million miles away, but, oh, it's so fucking funny when it actually happens.
Fire is our friend.
Yes. All right, let me have your cigar. And of course...
Yeah.
Now, granted, no blind person would mistake a thumb for a cigar, but god damn it, it's funny.
Just hold on it.
And of course, boom, breaks out. And then this next line that I love. Wait.
I was gonna make espresso.
I was gonna make espresso. So Gene Wilder, or Gene Hackman, just went with it. That was the first take, and he just ad-libbed. I was gonna make espresso.
Oh.
And it's because like it fades out so fast, because literally as soon as he was done with that line, the entire crew just doubled down with laughter. So, that's great. Oh yes, of course, I love it. With the violin, the atmosphere is just so awesome. Look at these sets, man.
Oh yeah,
dude. And I love the obvious fake beard.
I'm Satchel Gizmo, and this is my partner Scruffy.
He does look like from Blazing Saddles. No. So yeah, that's like probably the great Gene Hackman's cameo appearances. Dude, he's ancient too now. Like
How
he's
old?
he's like in his 90s now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Gene Hackman's a lot older than people give him credit for. Like, I'm kind of amazed he's still. Oh, I'm still kind of amazed that Mel Brooks is still around. He's
Oh,
like
yeah.
almost 95 almost now.
Yeah.
So, God, it'll be a really sad day when he finally goes, because he is probably one of the great comedy directors. Like, just true on comedy directors. Like, no, I do comedy. That's what I do. That's what I'm known for. That's what I'm gonna be.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
he just lives up into it. Like, he's not one of those part-time ones that'll be like, yeah, occasionally I do comedies, but every once in a while I'll do this dramatic movie or whatnot. No, he full on. Like, he is the master of parody.
Oh yeah.
And it's gonna be a really sad day when he goes, because we've already lost so many of them. Because poor Marty Feldman, he left us really early. He actually died of a heart attack.
Oh.
I think.
Shame.
I want to say in like the 80s or something like that.
Mhm.
His career didn't last too long, which is a shame because
Oh my god.
because it's not just this. I've also seen. I don't know if you've ever seen Silent Movie.
No.
Mel Brooks, along with Gene Wilder and Marty Feldman, they actually made a movie called Silent Movie, and it is in fact a silent movie.
That's also a parody of silent movies.
Yes, straight up, and it's about Mel Brooks as a weird parody of himself trying to make a sound picture in the 70s. And it has like a ton of like celebrity cameos, everything, and it's, oh my god, it's so good. A lot of people forget about Silent Movie, but that's another one we'll have to check out because, dear God, it's great.
He gives up so early.
He does. He breaks really fast. Get me the hell out. I was joking. I guess, you know what? He should have had a safe word.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude, like that's
what you do.
that's rule number 1 when it comes to, these crazy situations
Especially when Peter Boyle's involved.
and in dungeons.
With chains.
Chains and dungeons and Peter Boyle. Yeah, you better have a safe word.
This is our, once we get that Matrix striptease going, this is our next.
Oh, this is going to be our next kink
Young
thing?
Frankenstein.
Oh, man. Well, just in time for Halloween, right?
Hey, Spooktober.
Well, to be very fair, he is proportionally balanced, so I'm sure he will be rather popular with that crowd.
He must have a huge fondue, girl.
And oh, he's cute. He's not gonna hurt anyone.
He's baby.
He is baby. The Olympian ideal. I am a god. Also really love the lighting and everything. Because especially the elongated skull permanently casts his eyes in shadow, so it constantly looks like a giant skull.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love his like fake little black teeth too.
Yes. And I love the fact,
baby, this is a nice boy.
yes,
This is
good boy.
That was you when my dog was crying the other day.
He isn't just a big doggo, isn't he?
He is.
He's a big doggo who doesn't know his own size.
And
That's
can
all.
Tap dance in elevator shoes.
And is a lot more afraid of fire than the average dog.
Oh yeah.
Although to be fair, he's been alive maybe 72 hours max. He's already been burned like 3 times.
Yeah.
So I'd probably fear fire too if I were him. If I was literally born yesterday and burnt 3 times, yeah,
He's
I'd
so
probably
confused right now. He's like, stop touching me.
I really do love how he just holds onto his face, just like
Just
smush his baby face.
my little boy.
My name is Frankenstein.
Character development.
He just owns it. I love it. And now
Oh god.
the big event. Oh yeah. Like this is actually okay, so I'm trying to think what my all-time favorite moment or scene in this entire movie is.
Mm-hmm.
This one's definitely up there, but if I really had to pick, I'd probably say God, it's really hard because there's a lot of really great scenes. I'd probably actually say the bookcase bit is probably my favorite.
Oh yeah.
What's your probably like favorite?
It's
just
hard because
individual
I'm
scene?
thinking scenes versus bits, like jokes versus like full scenes that like work together.
It's hard, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, just
if
like
I'm thinking like scenes.
maybe just like straight up best joke of it.
Best joke.
What's the best joke for you?
I like Igor, help with the bags. Okay, you take the blonde, I'll take the one in the turban. Pretty much all of Igor's lines, but he's just really funny. Like he just like goes and like to town on Madeline Kahn.
Probably my favorite joke. Oh, that's a really good one because there's a lot of really great jokes. Probably at least maybe a favorite like one-liner is probably when he stabs himself in the thigh. That's probably my favorite bit. Just either that or like the progression of the skulls.
Oh yeah.
Because again, you mentioned there's like lots of tension in that, and it's released not with a scare but a joke.
Yeah.
And that's really nice. I think the only other time I've seen that done, but it was in reverse, was with Jaws, where Roy Scheider is chumming for the shark, and he just like, slow the hedge, I'll slow the hedge. Why don't you come down here and chum some of this shit? And the audience just like, got a laugh, but then the shark pops up, so the laugh went from, oh my god!
You thought we were done.
Exactly. So it turned from a laugh to a scare, whereas this turned a scare to a laugh.
Oh, yeah.
Which I thought was great. And we are not children here, we are scientists. Gene Wilder, the UN would like a word with you. But no, I really love I love how it starts out as like a demonstration.
Oh, it's so serious, and then it gets lampooned again. Although,
to be fair, you would think it wouldn't be so serious if he wasn't in the tuxedo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because when you see this kind of science demonstration, you would think he would be in his lab coat and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
But because the Abby here, Abby. Because
it fits with the time too.
True.
Not to have somebody in your lab, but to do a very formal demonstration.
True, but you would have. I'd think you would have like all his colleagues in black tie, but the treat. I would see like having all of his colleagues in black tie makes sense, but as a presenter, I would still see him in his lab coat and that kind of attire, but. Because the Abby is dressed up in the what do you call it? The scrubs.
Oh yeah.
You think, oh well, it's just going to be a demonstration, but you don't realize because he's drawing most of the attention. You don't realize that Gene Wilder's suit is actually setting up the next bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like because all the attention is on Abby, and it just blows your mind when this happens. Like, this is amazing. And then, of course... It's so great. It's great, dude. Oh man, and what's even better is this whole sequence is actually really well uber duper. It's actually really well choreographed. That's the other thing.
It's your intro tap like finale, like recital.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like because I'm pretty sure they actually learned some tap dancing for this sequence.
Oh yeah.
But
it's not a crazy difficult tap sequence.
It's not.
I've learned putting on the Ritz before, but it's always nice to see people do it live.
Yes. I love it.
And in elevator shoes. I can't even imagine.
Oh my god, right? I was just about to say, can you imagine just like how did Victor manage to get shoes for him, let alone tap shoes for this? And then this is where I'm like, okay, I'm impressed now. That's some perfect form right there. Ah! They're just having a good time. And then, of course, apparently, all it takes is one spark. One spark to fuck it all up. And now this is what really bugged me about the movie.
He could have calmed him down.
No.
I think.
Well, no, he did calm him down. He's fine. But it's just like, the crowd is just like not having it.
Oh, yeah.
Like the crowd turns on him like super fast just because, you know, a faulty bulb went out. That's not their fault.
Oh, yeah.
Like, dude, and also, do they already have cabbage and tomatoes on just like...
It's like Hungary, right? So, Romania?
Yeah.
So, yes, everybody has cabbage.
Okay, that's fair.
All the time.
But,
I've been to Eastern Europe and you have...
Okay, that's fair enough. All right. I just didn't want to make sure, like,
everybody just carries cabbage.
I just wanted to make sure that wasn't something that they just... My cabbages! They just didn't pull it out of their ass or anything. Okay. Because...
Everybody in Central Europe is carrying cabbages 100% of the time.
Gotcha.
You move a little west, sometimes people are carrying bratwurst instead.
Gotcha.
But that is accurate.
Gotcha. Okay. But it's just like still, like, you know, a bulb goes out and he gets a little shocked. I mean, who wouldn't? But they turn on him like, you can make mistakes. Hang him. Burn him. Condemn him.
His presentation, it was a demonstration of whether he could tap dance. It's like, look, you brought a body back from the dead.
Yeah, dude.
It shows coordination and intelligence.
Yeah.
But, can it do perfect choreography? No. So fuck it.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of the equivalent of, like, you know, a scientist making presenting an android to his colleagues and whatnot, and then all of a sudden one of them goes, "Can you fuck it?" And the guy's like, "No," and they all just like leave angrily.
Okay, but that's a legitimate concern. If I can't fuck my android, why do I want an android?
That's a
legitimate concern.
Well, no, see, now that's legitimate, but
if my android can't dance to Puttin' on the Ritz, okay.
But my point is, they like, that's not the reason why they turn on him so fast. Like, if it's like, "Can you fuck it?" and he says no, then yeah, I could see a crowd turning like that on a dime like that. But just for
Can a tap dance? Who cares?
Exactly. So, like,
and
no.
you can fuck him. You can fuck the monster.
Yes, you can, as proven later on in the movie, which is also really great. But yeah, that's the one thing about this movie that I was just like not okay with. But I guess, you know, it's a good commentary on, you know, the mob mentality or whatever.
And that's the whole joke, is like all the villagers are an angry mob 24/7.
Okay, if I had a raising bed drawbridge thing that going on in there, like, who wouldn't use it that way?
Oh yeah.
Fuck. Oh, dude, now I have to redesign my design for
your future house.
My future sex dungeon.
It needs a rooftop patio.
With
elevated Frankenstein bed.
Yes. And chains, lots and lots of chains. And of course,
and chains excite me.
and a box of cigars, because let's be honest, you got to take care of the business that way. Okay. So, yes, this is where.
Yeah, I just really like Marty doing this bit.
Where Madeline Kahn comes back, and fabulous as ever.
Outfit.
She's fabulous as ever, just living up the part.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Let's turn in.
Yes. Let's. Oh man, that Madeline Kahn was awesome.
I love Marty.
Yes. This is it.
Say nothing, act cash.
Oh my God.
His creeping in this scene makes this my favorite scene.
just yeah, I mean, I don't even have to watch like the other three's performance. I'm just staring at Marty, just like just waiting for the moment.
Just die.
I assist Dr. Frankenstein in the laboratory with whatever
Actually, we've been having an intellectual conversation.
Dear, it's oh yes, certainly.
Yeah, when he just fights.
Down, down, boy. God damn it, that's
and a
great.
lot of the other takes of this, he rips the leg off of it.
Yep. Son of a bitch.
I love the versions of the scene where they just do the rest of the lines and he's just got a fox paw in his mouth.
Yes. Oh, also Madeline Kahn, dude, like she was taken way too soon. Like she was only like 57 when she died.
What a shame.
I know, because not only was she one of the funnier actresses of not just this era, just about any era really, but God, she was just a knockout, really.
Oh yeah.
Like, and that's the other thing, because like she really, the filmmakers really knew how to make her look like a golden age kind of star for this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, why are you being such a dick?
Because he wants to die.
Yeah.
He also put her in those ridiculous over-the-top outfits, so while she's like stunningly pretty,
Yes.
like you could tell how frigid she is.
Yes.
It kind of disguised the bombshell a bit. I love the wardrobe in this.
Yes, the wardrobe is fantastic.
Her turbans and her giant fur coats and all that.
For the record, I could have done that at any time. Because you would think that's another really crazy thing with the crazy amount of like the octopus chains going around him.
That's not gonna stop him. He can rip the thing itself.
Oh man, I wonder how his sex dungeon must be like. Oh, you're giving me.
He's got a big dick. He doesn't need all that extra shit.
Mel, he doesn't need it for him, but he needs it for his subjects. Oh, I love this. Op. As heaven is my witness, op. He has to get assistance to get his arm up. What? What? Oh! Love that
the
mob.
mob's just ready to go mobbing.
Always, dude. Like, they've got their pitchforks and torches and their pickaxes.
There was nothing to do before we had YouTube.
Wait a minute. So they've got guns, they've got torches. I actually didn't see a pitchfork in there. I saw pickaxes, but no pitchforks. A little bit of a chink in the armor. Now see, CinemaSins is like, I found a flaw. You suck. You suck. Perfect movie.
This is one of the reasons that it sucks.
This you suck. Perfect movie.
Oh man.
Hate that mentality.
Oh gosh.
God, her hair is gorgeous.
I also hate that they think I'm gonna watch their videos if they're 45 minutes long now.
No.
Everything wrong with Star Movie in 5 minutes. It's funny.
See, in
45 minutes is not funny.
No, it's not. Even 20 minutes isn't funny.
Oh, no.
10 minutes is borderline
Pushing
fun.
it.
Yeah. Like, if you can keep it under 10 minutes, yeah, maybe I'll give it a watch. But otherwise, no. That's why I'm sticking to honest trailers, man.
Oh, yeah.
They can do it. The only time they go, like, over 10 minutes is if they're doing, like, you know, a television show like Doctor Who or something really long and crazy that just is, like, massively long. But otherwise, no, they keep it to like the nice 5 or 6 minute mark, which is nice.
Didn't they make it extra long with Infinity War just because they just started listing people at the end?
I think
Thor, and this, and it became like that old Adult Swim.
No, but I think they did do like a super long. They did one for like Infinity War where it was just like. And who else? Also starring Mantis, Stokoye, all these other people, and they're like, "Holy crap! There are so many people in this movie."
They kept making parodies of. Did you see the old Adult Swim sketch "Too Many Cooks"?
Yes.
Where it's like the '90s sitcom, but they keep adding characters.
That was fucked up.
They kept doing that for Endgame. They kept making like these 10-minute music videos.
Did you see the Too Many Avengers College Humor?
Too Many Cooks?
No, the Too Many Avengers.
Oh, no.
It was Infinity War Infinite Avengers.
No.
Where it was Captain America just saying, Thanos is going to be here. we have to get all of the Avengers. And they're like, right on, let's go. The original 6 are there, but Captain America's like, no, we can't go until all of them come here. So he keeps adding and adding and adding and adding, and they're like, dude, guys, Thanos is about to blow up the moon.
We've gotta go.
But Captain America's like, no, wait, we just got 20th Century Fox, so here are all the X-Men. It's really funny. But the thing about Young Frankenstein is...
we go on tangents all the time.
Yeah. The
Bride of Frankenstein parody is amazing.
Dude, like, I love how they managed to work that in. Like, the fiancé gets captured, and the sheer stress of it all was just too much, and turned turned parts of her hair white, and I love how her hair was already, glistening and over the top. Oh, yeah. So it sets it up perfectly, like perfect right there. I love it. And then just to consummate the marriage and become the true bride. She's such a pretty, but as soon as she sees oh my God, her foot-long dick, she's like, yes. Her reaction, just no, it wasn't like it wasn't that bit. It was great. Right it was just like when she goes. Oh, I'll show. When she goes woof. Woof. And he's just. He don't need to speak, woman. There's, the world don't speak the language, but your booty don't need explaining. The old-fashioned saying, actions speak louder than words? Woof. That woof is what just, like, I doubled over it with laughter the first time I watched it. And then, of course, yes. Oh! And... Oh, sweet mystery of life, at last I found thee. Oh, at last I know the secret of it all. Dude, like, you're doing it right if you can make a woman orgasm like that. Also, if a woman does orgasm like that with self-conscious ties to this movie, then you got yourself a really good woman. Oh my God. Because, like, the cigarettes. Hey, fear fire scared. Well, how did they like those? Because, as you know, he's already had some particularly hard times with some smokes. With not just with the cigar, but the police officer right before. How did they get those lit without, something bad happening? Maybe once you bust your nut, you're in a calmer state of mind? Maybe. Maybe that's all he needed. He just needed some really good pussy in order to make him chill. He's already going for, what was it, like thirds? 7 was always her lucky number. Damn, their refresh rates are ridiculous. And I also love this bit. Just like, where are you going? Oh, just you all are all like, you're just gonna have a quick one and be off to God, the boys. I think I love him. Brag. Oh man, Madeline Kahn, she just sells that. Oh man. But yeah, dude, if you find a woman who manages to have orgasms to Mel Brooks references, that's a hell of a woman right there. And let's be honest, like, that's true music. She's on the brink and she's like, I'm not just gonna moan, I'm gonna sing Oh Sweet Mystery. Make that conscientious decision right there. Yep. And then if the dude gets it and he's just like, oh, I love you. Or no, better. Do the Bojack thing and just be like, ugh, that's good comedy. Oh God, yes. Yes, keep playing some music. Keep playing. I do love the music in this movie. Oh yeah. Like just the soundtrack on its own. I should get that just because it's so... Oh, I should get that for Halloween, to play during, a party or whatnot. Because it's just so atmospheric, And it's also strange. You know what? This would be really great for, for a really great gothic bath. Oh, yeah. You light all your candles
And you sit down and you listen to like violin music in the dark and
The nice glass of cheap red wine.
oh yes.
Yeah, that's ooh. Damn, I really wish my ass wasn't so fat so
Black
I could
rose petals, man.
Oh, yes. Now I really wish, the standard tub was able to equip my fat ass and I don't have to resort to very very expensive hot tubs. But thankfully I know someone who actually has one. So anytime I'm there, I will definitely be using that. And now I want to do that. Have a more gothic bath.
Gothic bath.
Yes, with the Fronkensteins.
It's Frankenstein.
Yes. Oh boy. Oh yes. So this is the part where they're going to be transferring the minds in order to save his brain. God, that equipment is crazy. I actually forget whether or not it does all this light. The
I
light
feel like
show
the
stuff.
light is in post, but
I feel like actually, I'm pretty sure that a lot of this stuff is definite. The way that I can see it now, that
on
stuff
the
is
thing on
actual.
the left, yes, that's real.
That's all real electrical. But I do know that they exaggerated some of the lightning bolts that come out of it. I know that was like a post effect that they animated, but oh man, I love it. Just the transferring of the fluids. Oh, remember back in those days, transferring of fluids was so scandalous, especially with vampires.
Oh.
Yeah. Vampires were sexy back then.
Vampires are still sexy. What are you talking about?
Twilight, sorry, it turned off a lot.
Twilight wasn't unsexy enough to make all the sexy vampires unsexy.
I guess it's because I'm a dude and like all they got is Bella. And Bella's a bitch. She is a cunt, man.
Oh man.
I'm not a fan.
I'm not a fan either. I don't think it was bad enough to ruin the genre though.
True.
It's harmless teen YA.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I guess I'll just have to pop in Interview with a Vampire instead.
Yeah. You'll find a vampire who'll fuck you.
Yeah.
Dio will fuck anybody.
Yeah, I was about to say.
He'll fuck anybody.
I was just about to say. Oh shit! The monster. It speaks. Yeah.
Put that in man. I love it.
Yeah,
Everyone's just awkwardly like, I guess he's
It's
okay.
actually kind of it's actually kind of shocking to hear Peter Boyle finally speak, because he's just been grunting throughout the entire thing. So when he finally does speak, it's actually kind of unnerving, and that's really cool. God, I'm sorry, I just can't get past that monocle over the eye patch. It's so stupid. Yeah. And this is actually where I believe, they divert to the original material. Where,
yes.
The monster does lament that, he wishes that he could be more than what he is.
Yeah.
And he wishes that people would accept him for who he is. And he also has sympathy towards his creator, despite all of that. But I really love the fact that, that their minds got swapped and they still run with that in just the most ingenious of ways.
Not entirely. He retains some of his intelligence, obviously.
A little bit. But, obviously they kind of screwed a little bit up when they haphazardly, stopped the progress bar at like 98%.
Yeah.
Or the equivalent of, rather, in this world. But, of course, again, the mob just completely turns on a dime, yet again. Although, granted, it's for the right reasons, but, and then, of course, I really love this moment. But, where they're just like, let's go home and have a nice, quiet chat, but instead they just go for the full thing and just like, well, go to my house, sponge cake, a little wine, and shit.
Wine and shit.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure he was gonna say chat, but of course they just like harken back to that old thing, like a nice good chat, and it's like a nice shit. No, a chat. And they just completely reverse it. That's another really great way to callback comedy is another really great way to do comedy. Just like,
Oh yeah.
you know, set up something that feels like a partially funny joke, but make it even funnier when you refer back to it.
Yes.
Like there's payoff, which, as we know, is Edgar Wright's bread and butter.
Oh yeah.
Like that's
every line has payoff in those
yes.
ones.
And of course, they follow their hearts. And he goes with Terry Garr, who clearly, let's be honest, like out of the two women in the movie, she's the much better choice for Victor.
Oh yeah.
You know, like. Because
there was no chemistry between the other two.
Well, she was just so full of her. Madeline Kahn's character was just so full of herself that she really didn't pay him much of attention. Whereas Ingrid was just far more, or Inga was just far more focused on him. You know?
Yeah.
So it's good.
And it's that character development of I'm an intellectual and everything else is bullshit to say I'm going to marry this rich, you know, a logical conclusion, good wife. Neither of us really like each other.
Yeah.
To somebody who's a little ditzy, but that's what he needs.
Oh my.
He's a little. He gives up some of his brains and.
I love that cut where you hear Terry Garr singing, and then it cuts to Madeline Kahn singing.
Yeah.
Like that's good sound transition.
I just love the genre lampoon of this.
And also just like. Again, the language is so funny because you know she is very proper and everything.
Poo-poo undies.
Yes, the poo-poo undies, and she just throws that out there. I'm like, wow, that's really funny.
And she does her little dance here. That's just hilarious.
Wait, the snort. The snort is the best. Oh my god, she is so funny. It's amazing how... I would too, sir. I would too. Because it's amazing how she can be so sexy and also just so funny at the same time. Like pulling double duty like that. That can be really hard.
Oh yeah.
Because you can easily misstep and lean one way or the other unintentionally.
Oh yeah.
But damn it, she strikes the perfect in between, where you're just like, hello there, and you're just doubling over with laughter. And of course this, what did you get from him? The super zoom. Everybody's happy. Oh, street mystery of life, I found you.
I know the secret of it all.
And Marty's just living his life.
Igor likes to watch.
Yep.
You know he's got a little peeping hole.
He is Igor.
Igor.
He puts the I in Igor.
Aye.
Ah, that was so much fun, dude.
Oh,
even the way the end credits still feel of the era, the music and the visual, everything, and it's got a really nice bookend with the creepy castle with the lone lit window. I love it. Love it. Ah, Gene Wilder and Mel Brooks.
Oh my gosh.
Kudos to you guys, dude. Because this is probably my favorite Mel Brooks movie. I've seen a lot of his movies, but I don't think it's ever going to get any better than this.
This one's just so rewatchable. Yeah,
it really is. That's another.
I watched this 2 days ago. I watched it again now. I'm still laughing out loud.
Yes, exactly, and that's one of the things that I think you really have to try for to get good comedy is the rewatchability of this high.
And can I put this on end of any drunken night and love it every time?
Yep, which is why we're probably such big fans of Edgar Wright and Shaun of the Dead and whatnot. But also just think of even Ferris Bueller's Day Off is still ranked consistently with one of the most rewatchable movies of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because the comedy and the characters and all of it just clicks.
You want to hang out with these people.
Yeah, dude, I would love.
You want to go on this adventure, and you want to be there with the actors having fun and doing this.
Yeah, dude.
I would love to do if this were live action on a stage, I'd have a blast every night doing it.
Yeah. Oh my god, I can see now. You just put that in perspective.
Mm-hmm.
You can imagine how much fun the actors were having on this movie, but now I think of the Broadway actors, and they actually get to relive it
every night.
Dude, that would be a dream.
Oh god, my sister was in a stage adaptation of Clue, and that's what she said.
Dude, did they actually have like multiple endings for that?
I don't remember how they did it. I don't remember if they did every multiple ending or if every night they did a different one.
They should. If they're not doing it like that, then they're just doing it wrong.
Oh yeah.
Because that's the only way. And unfortunately, that's why we're never going to be able to do Clue.
Clue is, I've heard, the only good, not the only good. Yeah, no, people were talking about, it's like, yeah, the only good game adaptation ever made into a movie.
As far as like board games, yeah, I believe it.
Oh, they were talking about board games, video games, anything, and they were like,
oh really?
Oh, yeah.
Board game, video games too? Yeah, I could probably see that actually.
The new Tomb Raider was okay. It was good.
Okay, confession to make. I love both the Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider movies. I love them to death. I know they are my guilty pleasures.
Okay.
It's not just because Angelina Jolie is being super Angelina Jolie. Like, really? It's not just that. It's the fact is that it's just so self-aware and super corny, and it knows what it is.
Oh yeah.
And plus you can tell Jolie is just having a really good time and is being charismatic as fuck.
Oh yeah.
So even if the rest of the movie is technically bad, I don't give a shit. Also, it's the one movie where the female version, you could say, of pop culture, the female version of James Bond, actually walks up to a James Bond actor in the nude, looks down and goes, "Always a pleasure to take out the towel." Like, dude, when you have female James Bond going up against future James Bond, like, that just gets a little bit better. So, and plus,
you don't have to explain your favorite movie's guilty pleasures. Like I've said before, it's cringe culture is dead, and I'm here to enjoy things.
Yeah, same. Like, if something's just bad and I just can't stand it, I'm not gonna watch it.
No.
Like, I'm sorry, I can't stand half of Neil Breen's work.
Oh yeah, no.
Like, I can't.
The irony can't shield you.
The irony
from the terribleness.
Well, it's also because he makes money.
Oh, I know.
Money is the part that really just pisses. It's kind of the Michael Bay effect.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like, you fucking
if he was
hack.
unsuccessful, you might.
Oh yeah,
be
dude.
Able to enjoy
if it was like a one-hit wonder like Tommy Wiseau, like, dude, I would like it infinitely more. But no, the fact that he actually continuously makes money and continuously makes shit, it's the Michael Bay effect. It's just like, you fucking hack. I could do so much better with the budget that you're being given. Fuck you. You stupid.
You couldn't get that mid-80s cult vibe.
Maybe. I don't know. But either way.
Realism chic.
Either way, this has been a really fun episode. I've been looking forward to this one like all week long. And I actually am really, 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 really stoked about next week's episode, which I believe, if I remember correctly, it's going to be An American Werewolf in London.
Oh, we're going to talk about special effects.
Oh, a lot. Especially for the scene.
Oh,
you know which scene I'm talking about. But that's going to be next week. We're going to be here for more horror comedy. And we're going to be doing horror comedy all October. And for a weird, obscure one, just for Halloween. So be on the lookout for that. In the meantime, I've been Tim.
I've been Hannah.
And this has been Comtrack, where you'll never have to watch a movie alone again. Peace.